What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Camp Staff Podcast. We're here with your host, Zach and David. I'm your host, Zach, and here's David. Say hi, David.
Hello.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 2 of the Camp Staff Podcast. We have made a few changes around here. And also, before we get started, I want to make a quick shout out to the amazing people running the Camp Staff Discord. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Camp Staff Discord is run by a bunch of good guys. They have really wholesome intentions to unite staff throughout the entire nation, and I really love those guys as of right now.
It's beautiful. I love it. I love it a lot. I love talking on it. I love talking to the people on it. It's great.
I've met a couple super fans on there, it seems. Shout out to our boy Pat out there.
Shout out to our boy Pat.
Honestly, Pat has been our biggest fan so far, and we want to make episodes and more episodes for guys like him, you know?
I know what you mean, man. It's beautiful.
Very beautiful. Hey, Zach, guess what?
Hey, David, what?
We have a new co-host.
Do you have a co-host? We didn't have a co-host before. How did we have a new one?
It's still a new co-host either way, Zach.
He's old news, David. He's old news.
He is pretty old news. You know why? He beat
12-year-olds in
grass. Yeah. He beat 12-year-olds in grass dancing. Remember that?
He's also 5'7".
It's the one and only
Austin Minnick.
Woo! Hi, Austin.
I will take over one day.
He'll never take over.
He'll never take over.
You don't even know the password to the Anchor account.
I have the password to the Instagram account.
Well, that doesn't matter anyways.
That doesn't matter.
Just choose the password.
That's a really easy fix, bud.
And also the two-factor authorization is connected to my phone number. So basically,
Ooh.
I know your phone passcode.
Oh, okay.
I could say it for everyone across the nation right now.
But you live
right
3
now.
hours away from me. You live 3 hours away from me. Don't say
11:09.
Oh, you're close. It was actually 11:12.
Damn it.
It's all right, man. So how are you doing, Austin?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing okay. What about you, David?
What's that?
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great.
All right, man.
My app just disconnected.
That's pretty litty. So I would like to introduce our guest to us. He is he worked at ecology for a couple years. He is very tall. He is
very, very tall. I'll give you
like
that one.
The Eiffel Tower of people. He probably played basketball all his life. I'm not sure about that. We would like to welcome Robert to the call.
Hey guys.
How you doing,
man? How you doing, Robert?
I am doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great.
I'm doing good.
So, Robert, I have a question for you.
I have an answer.
Are you really good at basketball?
I am semi-good at basketball.
I can vouch. He played on the staff team. When we did staff versus campers over the past summer. He was balling.
Good.
Wasn't he a camper this past summer?
Pardon?
Haven't you been a camper for the past few summers, though?
I have been. I've been a assistant scoutmaster with my troop.
It's called he's assisting his troop, being helpful, useful.
Mm-hmm. Unlike something David. Austin could be able to do. Oh, wow, we both had the same joke.
All right. Can you guys just stop arguing for a second? Jesus.
Well, we love each other. That's why we do it.
Oh, okay.
Yikes. That's a easy no for me.
So, Robert,
wow.
I've only taught one class at ecology, and that was environmental science. What are your thoughts on the environment, the ecology area in general?
So, specific to my area, or I'm sorry, specific to our camp, the ecology area is extremely important because a lot of the campers that come into the camp don't know what the environment is around them. And ecology programs all across the nation are crucial. I mean, we're Boy Scouts. We need to know the environment that we're in. So being able to tell what kind of plants you're around, what kind of animals are in your area, how you can save the environment, how you can help the environment, stuff like that. It's crucial to the knowledge of the next generations.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Too often I see scouts going through programs, getting Eagle Scout, but not truly learning what they were supposed to learn, you know? Too many shortcuts were taken, in my opinion, sometimes,
People,
you know?
yeah,
Well,
like,
you can get Eagle Scout fairly easy.
Mm-hmm.
quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you see like a 14-year-old Eagle Scout, they can get it an easy way as long as they join when they're 10 years old. That's like 4 years. Because I was an Eagle at 15.
Wow.
So
Me too.
Odd flex, but okay.
no,
Oh.
but it's like people say that we didn't learn or anything, but then we're the ones teaching in the future.
Are you though?
Well, Austin, I would like to say that I would agree with you in certain cases, but there have been,
Yes, in certain
at least
cases.
in my experiences, I've seen kids get their Eagle Scout rank at 14, 15, and they don't they only know what they were required to learn for their ranks and nothing
Yeah.
else. If
A
they
lot of
were
those kids have
before
their
the
mommies do it.
situation, well, yeah,
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
A lot of those
Austin.
kids have their moms do it.
Just like Austin.
I'm not
Yep.
I'm
For
not
tricking a lot of
dissing.
Eagle Scouts out there.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say like if you're an Eagle Scout before the age of 15, right? It's not a real Eagle Scout. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying too often I can see that happening, right?
right.
I'm not personally attacking anybody, but like Robert said, like the environment is not as there's only one or two environmental related merit badges required for Eagle Scout, correct?
Environmental science is one of them. There is also the option of going with the sustainability merit badge, which when that merit badge came into our camp program, a lot of people were hesitant about teaching it and hesitant about taking it because a lot of the requirements you can't do at a camp, you have to do with your family.
Mhm.
But I taught the merit badge, and we spent 2 days alone building a model, or not building, but designing a model community with the highest level of sustainability that we could think of. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
zip lining for transportation from one area to another. It was, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but
Yeah,
if
that
you
sounds like
really,
an
what?
eco-friendly like utopia there.
Yeah, if you really think about it, there are pros and cons to everything that we talked about, but it was very interesting, and a lot of kids got really excited about that merit badge. So, like you said, there are only one or two that are required for Eagle, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
little unnerving to know that being a Boy Scout in general, you're outside a lot more than you're outside for a lot of
Yeah.
time. And if you don't know what you're going out into or what you have available to you and why you need to protect it, it doesn't work out for you in the long run.
You pretty much are screwed. Yeah.
Give or take, but
Really depends on where you are.
I feel like they should make more ecology-based merit badges required.
Mm-hmm.
I do too.
They should
Yeah.
make an ecology merit badge and then make that required. With like
I would completely disagree with. I would completely disagree with the ecology merit badge idea because it's
not
too
an
broad.
ecology merit badge, but like
Well,
where you can learn about the wilderness and how to protect it and stuff like that.
It's
So I don't mean like an ecology merit badge. What I mean is, okay, so basically nature is what I'm saying. Like the nature merit badge, I feel like it should be more required for a certain rank, because so I could teach scouts about, obviously the wilderness that we are in and everything.
But earlier you said
there.
you wanted to bring up an ecology merit badge that's just about the subject ecology. It's like the exploration merit badge.
Yeah, but once
it's,
I thought
it's-
about it, I started to notice it's basically nature merit badge.
it's too broad of a subject, like the
Right.
exploration merit badge.
Yeah.
I would
Merit
like to-
badges are supposed to be an introduction into something, right?
It's to a certain subject, like space exploration is the introduction to space exploration, meteorology, obviously meteorology, the weather,
Mm-hmm.
and
So-
basically
Yeah,
the exploration merit badge is doing too many things at once. It's talking about space exploration. It's talking about normal, just like caving, like going down in caves, looking around that archaeology. It's talking about too many things at once, which is a total problem for like a merit badge with 8 requirements.
Yeah.
And I would like to bring up a point with Austin is that an ecology merit badge would be great if they didn't already insist that environmental science is the ecology merit badge.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
not. Once you
by
thought
that I
about it, I
mean-
started noticing that.
By that I mean ecology or environmental science covers so much of the spectrum of the ecology area, no matter what what program or what camp you're at. The environmental science merit badge covers the sustainability aspect, the wilderness, the life, the biological aspect of the world, and
Mhm.
and that's I think that if there wasn't that merit badge, or if they didn't insist that environmental science was the epitome of the ecology merit badges, it would be a great merit badge to have, but they already see that as the epitome of the ecology merit badges.
Yeah. What I was
But
thinking was making. I basically was thinking nature merit badge, them making that required. That's what I was thinking in my head. I forgot
Yeah.
there was a nature merit badge in my head.
The thing they should do is just make more of them Eagle required. Like the nature merit badge should become an Eagle required merit badge.
That's what I meant originally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Robert, I have a quick segue here. Okay. So since we're on the topic of ecology, in the ecology area, there's a certain class that you teach, and you teach it very, very well. Okay. This is a class of reptile and amphibian study.
Ooh,
Okay. So,
yes.
you taught me reptile and amphibian study, and let me say, your class made my week. Okay. You were able to make it like it was not the most interesting subject if you weren't interested in amphibians and reptiles, right? Like that's like me, right? I wasn't too interested, but you were able to be informative yet comedic at the same time. Remember?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. At one point, you let one of my fellow troop mates just like start reading out of the book, right? And he just like started improving, and eventually he got to a picture of 2 turtles having intercourse, and then he just goes, "Look, bro, turtle sex," and that was the whole thing. That was the whole rest of the week. We just blabbered on about turtle sex.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
if you were done with your statement, I would like to
Continue.
so I would say first off, thank you for saying that made your week. And I'm gonna go a little off the path and then come back. So just
Gotcha. I'm
go
sticking
ahead.
with you.
Being a camp counselor, especially at a scout camp, is extremely it's extremely important to be able to have that balance of teaching yet interacting, and by
Mhm.
that I mean just keeping the attention of your class. It's an extremely hard thing to do if you haven't done it for a while or at all. So having certain merit badges. Reptile and amphibian study is an amazing merit badge if you are super interested in reptiles and amphibians. But
Yeah.
if you're not, and you're taking it to get that merit badge, or you're taking it because you don't really know about it and you want to, like you guys said, peek into that aspect of the world, you don't, as a counselor, it's your job to make that interesting, make that stick with the camp, with the
Make
camp.
Mhm.
turtle sex interesting.
That's
You know,
you said that, not me.
That's a whoa.
That's a weird flex, but
weird flex, but okay.
exactly, it'd be like that sometimes. But that's the thing, and in that instance in particular, I did not even remember that until you said that I let one of your troop mates read.
Oh
And
yeah.
there's only 2 instances in that class that I can remember that happened. But
Oh my goodness.
I remember that, and yes, that topic might be considered inappropriate as far as a normal conversation would go between a camp counselor and campers.
Absolutely.
Very
Not
much so.
not
For
many times
sure.
have I gone up to a camper and just, hey, but you know anything about turtle sexual reproduction?
And they'll
Yeah.
respond with like, "Yes, I do. I'm a connoisseur of turtle sex. I read about it. I watch it on National Geographic, and I practice it sometimes."
Oh God.
Oh no.
But that's the thing. And
Continue, Robert. My bad.
having that interaction with that camper, and then having in that class, I should say, having them read and interact with the rest of the class brought the entire course together. And I would hope that you would vouch for me in saying that once that happened, everybody really stayed interested because nobody knew what was going to happen next.
Absolutely. So about Monday, right? My whole troop's there, right? It's literally just my troop taking this class at our local
Pretty
camp.
much.
And I I remember it so vividly because everybody was so disrespectful, so uninterested. I was about 12 years old at the time. Everybody was just talking while you were trying to teach, but then you tried being a little bit funnier, you tried being a little bit more relatable. You really got our respect and attention, and you did a very good job with that.
Thank you. If you guys have any more segues, I'd be glad to hear them. But I do have a couple
So-
funny stories for you in that area. But
All right, I have a
story
I-
about
I have a-
turtle sex.
no.
Okay. Nope.
No.
yeah, let's not.
Not now, Austin.
All right.
Not now.
So I taught one class at the ecology area. That was the environmental science merit badge, because that year the area director in that area quit midsummer. You might know who he is.
Yikes.
That was the year after I left, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was the year after you left.
Things were in shambles.
Yes, sir. The area was kind of a mess, if in layman's terms.
I would like to come to my own defense. When I left that camp that summer, at the end of the summer, that area was spotless. In the program during winter camp, I was told that it was destroyed. So
The program itself and the program area wasn't the problem. It was the leadership and the execution of their
Yeah.
activities.
They didn't have
You know.
anyone there, so they put someone there.
right.
They moved them out of an area.
So when I taught the class, they just gave me the syllabus the day of when I had to teach the class, which was great. And the syllabus itself was so broad of a subject. It was absolutely terrible. It took me like 30 minutes to realize what I had to teach on the syllabus itself. And so I was like, okay, screw the syllabus. And I started making my own syllabus right off out of my head with the
With the
Merit
Merit
Badge
Badge book? Yeah.
Yes.
Off the dome.
Th-
It'd be like that sometimes for real.
Yeah. I was like, okay, is this a prerequisite? And I was like, okay, who cares? I'm just gonna do it anyways.
Hmm.
It's a 2 hour long class, so I needed to fill it as much as I can. And I'm a person who does not really know that much about environmental science. I know just the bare basics of it,
Hmm.
and it was at least the people in my class. It was only like 6 people in total. It was not that bad. It was a tiny class, and they're funny. They're fun to hang out with. There was this one kid who was completely dead at the end of the week. He was like, he looked like he like shoved onions in his eyes. That's how dead he looked. and and this kid was, oh my goodness, he was funny too. He was a SoundCloud rapper, and
Oh
it
no.
was funny. I don't
Wait,
remember his
I think
SoundCloud at all.
I think I know who you're talking about. Austin, right? Austin was that kid.
Yeah,
Austin's
Yeah,
Austin.
Austin.
Sorry, my app crashed.
Oh, okay.
That's unfortunate. Speaking
So
of funny.
Robert, you said he had some funny stories. Would you like to
Yes.
share a few?
Zach, were you done with your SoundCloud rapper kid?
Oh, I don't remember the SoundCloud name, and he was when he played it out loud, it was obnoxious. It was like it was made in GarageBand. His beats, first off,
Oh God.
and his microphone was literally a cell phone microphone, and it's not like an iPhone or a Samsung. It's literally like
It was like a Windows 10 phone. Windows
it was,
9 phone. No,
yeah,
Windows 8 phone.
or a Google
We don't
Pixel
even
4.
try to be SoundCloud rappers anymore. We got staff members, ex-staff members, I should say, that try to be SoundCloud rappers, and it's so bad.
It was funny. It's
Yeah. Well, Robert,
Yes.
I'd like you, maybe not your best like story ever, right? I'm not expecting like you to bring us your how do I put this? Your magnum opus of a camp staff story here. We're not worthy of that just yet, but just give me one of your best stories. That's all I'm asking for. I'm not asking for your magnum opus. Just give me one of your very favorite or funniest camp staff memories.
Give me an area and I'll tell you.
ecology
Native.
first. Oh,
Shit. Ecology.
How did I know you guys were going to pick that area? Okay. So let's see. I'll go with a heartwarming story first.
all right.
Okay.
Grab the
So-
viewers by the neck, pull them in.
Right?
Yes.
Grab them by
So-
the heartstrings.
This one was actually not planned at all, but it worked out extremely well. So in front of the ecology lodge at the camp that we worked at, there's a cement bench that was built there in memoriam of a kid, and I cannot remember exactly what happened to him, but unfortunately he passed away.
Mhm.
And he was an avid camper at this camp. Long story short, the camp meant so much to him that they put a bench in front of the ecology lodge. And my program director came up to me one Sunday evening and said, "Hey, just to let you know, the bench that sits out in front of your ecology lodge, the kid's dad is here this week with their troop. I guess he had another son in the troop, and they were all together." So, so I said, "Okay." And I had been meaning to clean this bench for weeks. I just unfortunately didn't get around to it yet. So
Mhm.
I made the arrangements to get all my classes covered. I had a free period to teach, but I had an off period. And I got one of the rangers to bring me a pressure washer. And I'm out there 9 o'clock in the morning. Kids are trying to, my counselors are trying to teach classes all around me, and I'm over there with a pressure washer just spraying down the bench. And I pretty much told my guys, I said, look, take your classes somewhere else. Go away. Go on a hike. Do something. And,
Go explore nature.
go teach environmental science in the environment. But
Throw someone into a poison ivy bush if
who said that? Was that Zach? Zach,
Throw
did you
someone.
say that?
Yes, I did.
I have never seen poison ivy on that camp.
There's only one area that I've seen it, and that's Trailblazers.
Yeah.
Ooh. Anyway, so I'm out there pressure washing this bench and didn't really think anything of it. That afternoon, I'm walking back up to the lodge to unlock it, and there's a gentleman sitting on the bench reading a book, and I'm walking past him, and he stops me and he goes, "Hey, were you the gentleman out here pressure washing this bench?" I said, "Yes." And he looks at me and he goes, "I appreciate what you're doing, what you did. This bench was built for my son. He was the one that passed away. I appreciate you guys taking such good care of the bench and the lodge that he loved so much. I appreciate it. Thank you." And I think that had to have been one of the most important moments in my camp counseling experience, of making that person's day, of creating that emotion and having them be so grateful to go out of their way and tell me that.
That's so incredibly wholesome. Like,
Yeah.
That was a
even like crack a joke about it. That's honestly a beautiful thing. As camp staff, we have a responsibility. Campers Week.
You're cutting in and out.
it. Oh my
Or-
goodness. It doesn't matter, Austin. He's
What's that?
Oh, so at least Robert was. So with that bench, at least when you were area director there, you cleaned it. The newer directors for like the past 2 years did not pressure wash it or clean it at all, and it was dirty, which kind of pissed me off, in my opinion. So Robert, since you became a ecology director, what do you have any stories when you were ecology director? I mean, any other
So
stories?
I have a pretty interesting story of becoming ecology director. It all began. Let me start it like that. It all began in the year 2015. I worked on the aquatic staff for 1 year. 1 year. I loved it. It was the best experience I've ever had. I only worked there for 4 weeks. It's an 8-week camp, or it was an 8-week camp program when I started working there. I worked there for 4 weeks, and the next year when I reapplied, I wanted to be a lifeguard again. And one of the program directors came up to me and said, "Hey, we need you over at the ecology area. We need you to be a camp counselor." I said, "You know what? I'll give it a try. Whatever." That year, I had so much more time to interact with the campers and interact with the troops. It was unbelievable. And by that I mean I wasn't waking up at 5:30, 6 o'clock every morning to go do mile swim. I wasn't up until 10, 11 o'clock at night cleaning the pool. So that year, or I should say that following year, when I reapplied for the third summer, I believe that I worked. It was either the third or the fourth year that I worked that I was offered the area director position. And that was an incredible job offer for me because I'd always wanted to be an area director. I always wanted to be the head of a department, if you will.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
So when they told me that I got the job, they said, look, being an area director for ecology, you have to go to National Camp School. And I said, awesome, let's go. Well, when I said that, I didn't realize the dates. The dates were either one day or 1 week. I can't remember exactly, but it was right before my graduation
Oh no.
from high school.
Right?
So, or it was right after. One of the two. I was really close to my graduation,
Yeah,
but I the
that hits
flight
a
was
little too
booked.
close to home.
Yeah, it was really, it was kind of close, but the flight was booked. I was ready to go. I was actually traveling up there with the area director that got hired for the Trailblazer area, and his name is also Robert. Um,
Didn't he go by Bobby or no?
Yeah, Bobby.
Bobby.
Yeah. That was the first time me and him met on the plane. It was like it was weird, but I didn't realize what was happening and where I was going until I was there. But just to clarify, our camp is in the southeast part of the United States. It's in Florida. And if I'm allowed to say that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So I just don't say the actual camp.
Right. Shut up, Austin. So our camp is in Florida. Florida has a very tropical climate, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So our ecosystem is vastly different than really the rest of the country. They sent me to Cincinnati
Really?
for my
I didn't
camp
know
school,
that.
specifically Loveland, Ohio.
Oh
And
god,
Not Ohio.
not Ohio.
I already had a
Ugh.
bad taste of Ohio in my mouth, but
I
I
hate Ohio.
I lived in
didn't-
Ohio for 2 years. It was a terrible experience.
RIP. And let me tell you this. I didn't realize until I was like, it was day 2, that absolutely nothing I was learning there could I transfer back to Florida.
This is how to dig yourself out of the snow, and you're just like, well, okay. Just
And
Oh,
it
kidding.
thank
That's
you.
that's a bit dramatic, but you know.
It wasn't even that. It was, I can tell you everything you need to know about dogwood trees and red clovers, that you can eat red clovers. They're great. They taste like sugarcane. But show me in the state of Florida where there's a red clover, and I will hand you $100 bill.
All right, time to go to
Hear
Ohio.
that, guys? Hear that, guys? If you
All
hand,
right.
you hand
It
Robert
was,
a red clover, he will hand you $100. That's a challenge.
yes. You just gotta
Oh,
find me
Ohio
first.
viewers, watch out.
I hope you be looking out for that.
But I'm being completely serious. Nothing, and the thing that frustrated me the most was that there was a camp school program happening like a week prior in Georgia. Or
You love to
Louisiana,
see it.
one of the two.
You love to see it, honestly.
It do be like that sometimes.
But they sent me to Ohio, and they taught me about trees in Ohio. And I'm up there, and I'm looking around, and I look at the guy that's teaching us, and this guy had to have been like 1,000,000 years old. And he had us standing up in the middle, like 11:30, 12 o'clock at night, staring up at the stars. And there,
Was he
it
like an
was
ancient Mayan?
something like that. But I looked at him and I said, "There's no palm trees." And he goes, "I know, it's Ohio."
I know it's Ohio.
When I tell you I've never wanted
How bold.
When I tell you I've never wanted to book my own flight home more, that was the moment because I knew there were no palm trees. I was just mad that there were no palm trees. I was mad there were no pine trees. It was dogwood trees.
There's no pine trees in Ohio?
Not at the camp that I was at, or not at anything that
That's
we were looking at.
crazy to me.
Dude, it was weird.
There
That's
has to be
weird.
one.
There had to have been, but we didn't look at them. We walked. If there was one, we walked around it to get to a different tree.
I would complain.
And then when I would ask him, I was like, "Hey, what kind of is that? An oak tree?" He goes, "Oh, we're not worrying about oak trees."
Nice. Great.
Oh my goodness.
One
So,
of the
yeah.
most popular trees. When I'm popular, I mean like the most how populated trees. Populated. They're both pop words. The most populated tree. You just like, who cares about that? It's not like it's in every state for the most part.
Right.
It's like
Who
one
cares?
of
Who cares?
only 3 trees we had in Florida.
4. Jeez, Austin.
Okay, name the 4th one. We got pine trees, we got palm
Mhm.
trees, and we got oak trees. What else?
Magnolias.
Orange trees?
Ooh. Get 'em.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And like any other citrus fruit? I don't know. That's right, Austin.
Okay, so yeah. You have any of this?
David, can you please tell me where in Florida you're gonna find an orange tree in the wild?
There's wild orange
Austin.
trees.
No, Austin, stop. You're gonna dig yourself a hole that you can't get out of. I can take you to like 12 places you can find wild orange trees.
I've
Thank you.
never seen one.
That's because you live by Miami.
You live in Miami. The only thing you have in Miami is cocaine.
That's true.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Okay,
Robert.
Robert, do you have any other stories?
I got one more quick one.
All
Okay.
right,
Let's hear it.
I'm ready.
So later on in my camping years, we came up with this code over the radio that instead of saying like, "Oh, there's a bear in campsite 4," you would say, "Oh, Fred is in campsite 4,"
Right.
or
Yeah.
code blue for something down at the pool or at the lake. But the only code that I really cared about was code green, which was wildlife.
Yeah.
At our camp is known for big spiders, big wolf spiders, not banana spiders, but yellow golden silk spiders, golden orb weavers.
Yes.
A lot of people get those confused, but those are 2 of the main spiders that we find at our camp. And I know you guys can tell me, what is the main animal that we see at camp?
Bears,
Yeah, deer.
Bear.
Really?
bears and deer.
Really?
Go for tortoises.
Go for tortoises. Yeah.
To be fair, I've never really camped at our camp. So
Wow.
You just stomp out the grass.
He's a fake fan.
Wow,
I'm from
what
a
a
different camp. I just come here to get away from home.
wow.
So
Wow.
Yeah.
you guys wouldn't be necessarily wrong in your answers, but I was looking more for snakes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
We do have
that's
a lot of those.
Yeah.
I think it's just one of those animals that are just so natural at camp. I just forget they're an actual animal. I feel like campers at this point.
Yeah,
Right.
like
So-
toilet paper.
Exactly. You just can't find them anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
But I say that in the sense that we have a lot of snakes at our camp, and
Yeah.
in order to keep our campers safe, we had to make sure that any snakes that were found in the main areas or in the campgrounds or in the campsites were removed, relocated, etc. So, there'd be the occasional, hey, there's a yellow rat snake slithering down between the Healthcraft Pavilion, and you'd hear, hey, ecology, code green, healthcraft, and I would run over with my gloves and my snake stick, and I'd pick it up and I'd relocate it. I'd put it in the woods, or we would try and cycle out all of our wild animals that we kept in the ecology lodge. So if we caught a yellow rat snake week 1, if we found one week 2, we would release the
Yeah.
first one, as to not create an attachment to humans. And there were times like that, but there was one time that I will never forget. There was this kid from somewhere on the east coast of Florida, and he walked around camp every day, long blonde hair and white crabbing boots.
Crabbing boots. Okay.
Yeah. Like
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And they were rolled down, and it was great. It was the best. Super polite kid. Not a thing wrong with him. It was just, he walked around every day in crab boots, and I would never let it go. I'll never forget this kid. And his troop was a great troop, nicest troop I've met in a long time. Well, me and my assistant area director were sitting down in the dining hall eating lunch. It was either lunch or dinner. And we hear over the radio, code green, campsite 11, or whatever campsite it was. And me and him get up, leave our food there, and book it out to this campsite. Because usually they're not calling for anybody to come out if it's a rat snake or something.
Mm-hmm.
Usually a snake of immediate endangerment. And we're running out there, full sprint across the entire camp. Everybody's yelling at us, "No running!" And I'm yelling back at them, "Leave me alone."
Right.
Like you do when you're a staff member and campers are telling you not to run. So we get out there, and the ranger has already made it out there somehow. I don't know how he did it, because you have to go the long way when you're on the roads, and he drives his truck out there. I don't know how he got out there.
His old Ford Ranger with a million things in the back of it. It's dragging against the sand at that point,
And we get out there, and I've got my gloves on. I got my snake stick in my hand. I get out there, and who is there but the kid in the crab boots? and he's sitting down on the ground. And I'm like, oh no, he got bit by a snake. That's not good. I look down, and this kid has a 4-foot eastern diamondback by the neck in his hand, and he's sitting there petting it like a cat.
Oh my goodness.
What?
And you can hear this rattlesnake just going, "Brrr." I'm like, dude, that snake is mad. Why are you holding it? How did you get it? How did you grab it? And who raised you? Snakes like that. I looked at one of his adult leaders. I said, "You guys just let him grab it?" And Scoutmaster looks at me. He goes, "Oh, he does it all the time. He does it all the time."
How many Eastern Diamondback rattlesnakes is he seeing? My goodness.
I've only seen 3 at camp, and this kid's caught one of them. So
That sounds like the most Florida thing. Besides him catching an alligator with just one hand, right, and then an orange in another hand, I haven't seen anything.
I have never been so shocked at something that a camper has done involving wildlife than that moment.
It's
And then-
crazy.
and it's funny. What? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. But what was his reaction to your disbelief?
He didn't have one because he was so used to people not believing that he just grabbed snakes like that.
Yeah.
Like I'll full disclosure, I'll go around and grab rat snakes and black racers and stuff like that, but they're non-venomous snakes. Yeah, if they bite you, there's a possibility it could get infected, but an eastern diamondback holds enough venom to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't go around grabbing snakes like that.
I have a funny
So-
story about snakes.
Same.
I got one more little
Yeah.
detail that really seals the story.
All right.
So we had to get the snake from the kid, right? So the ranger goes over to his truck, picks up a bucket out of the back, dumps like 18 bolts and a shovel out of it, and goes over, puts the bucket down on the ground, and tells the kid, all right, on the count of 3, you're going to throw the snake in the bucket. Kid throws the snake in the bucket. Ranger covers the bucket with a milk crate or something. And as he's getting in his truck, he puts the bucket in the bed of his truck. He goes, as he's getting in his truck, he looks back at me. He goes, all right, I'm taking it. I got my relocation shovel. I'm going to go relocate him somewhere 6 feet under.
My goodness. Wow.
Jesus.
And then I don't know if it was related or not. I don't think it was, but like 2 minutes later, after he drove away, you just hear like a very deafened just pop in the woods. So I don't know if he had a gun or not. I don't think he did, but it would just be so much funnier if he did.
So, with like rattlesnakes, a diamondback snake. Oh gosh, yeah, with venomous snakes. Okay, there we go. Remember Jacoby that we talked about last episode, guys?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so Jacoby, I forgot to mention this. And this is a great segue to the story. He saw one of those a venomous snake on the ground. Okay.
Yeah.
And he thought it was a stick. First off, let's preface with that. Yeah, he thought it was a stick, and he goes up, grabs it, and guess what? It bites him. So
Really?
he's rushed. Yes, it bites him. He's rushed to the emergency room, and the best part is, he goes to the emergency room. He's in the emergency room, and it's a dry bite. Luckily, it was.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
This happened at camp.
This happened at camp.
Yeah.
Yep. This.
You know how long do you need EMS to get out there? 13 minutes.
Yep. And he's not the sharpest tool in the shed.
No.
All right. So
I have a wait.
All right. So I would like to wrap up the show for us, if that's all right for everyone.
That sounds good to me.
All
Fine
right.
with me.
Thank you, Robert, for being on the show.
I appreciate you guys having me, and thank you for listening to my stories.
It's all
Oh,
we wanted to.
It was awesome. Honestly, it was very heartwarming stories. I learned a lot more about the mindset of an ecology area director.
And yeah, and how much are the area directors after you are yeah. Yeah, if you understand what I mean by that sound.
Also learned about Cincinnati and Ohio. That was fun.
Oh, and how bad Ohio is. It's a terrible state.
Yeah, if you're from Ohio, I'm sorry, but you don't really need to be listening.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
I would like to make one more point. I was not the area director that I was coming in with no knowledge. I had an amazing teacher before me, and I had an amazing staff that supported me and helped out running my area. I had great leaders from upper management, the camp director, the program director, all the other area directors that would come together in times of need and times of concern and just help maintain composure throughout the camp. So,
Yeah.
you know, I want to say thank you to all the area directors, all the staff members, the upper management, the directors, everybody that helped me to become the best area director I could be.
Hope they'll probably get that. I hope. Mostly people from our camp listen to us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully we'll venture out into more
Yeah.
audiences eventually.
So I would like to thank the camp staff Discord for giving us a few shout outs, making us feel like we're at home on that Discord server.
Absolutely.
And I would like to thank Robert for being on the show. And
I'd like to thank Austin, but not really, because he beat 12-year-olds at grass dancing in the state of Florida.
And I would like to thank all the people who are listening to this right now, as
Whoop, whoop.
as it's
Especially
been published.
Pat. We love
Especially
you, Pat.
Pat, our super fan Pat.
Pat, we love you like a lot, like a
Mhm.
lot.
I can't say
Aus-
that because that's against YPT.
Yikes.
Um,
Austin, do you have any closing remarks?
I don't think he does.
Okay. Well, see you guys next episode.